So I am going to go over the first lab that was assigned the first day of the AWS Academy class, which was around actually mid-December. With school break happening and my wisdom teeth issue at the beginning of this month, we're actually resuming our class not till today, which is January 31. So it's a few weeks later than what I have liked. So we might be kind of doubling up the speed a little bit on some of these labs. And so, anyways, then, like I said, I'm going to go over the first lab that was assigned on the first week. So I went ahead and clicked on this link that I have right in here, which is in the Google Share Drive. The name of it is ACF Outline. And let's see. So what I did when I clicked on that link, it took me to the sign-in page for the AWS certification, training and certification. And let me see if I can kind of replicate this. Okay, it takes me right into my transcript since I've already logged in. But what it does take you to a sign-in page, and you sign in. And you'll see, your transcripts. Let's see. So if it doesn't take you right to your transcript, let me see exactly how it is. Because mine takes me right to my transcript. Yours might take you to something like this. And you see that I have some other things in here, but the one that you're going to be focusing on, and you may have some other things in here as well, which is great. It shows that you're engaged and you're learning something beyond just what's in this particular academy. And that's going to be a great way to help you have a better idea of what AWS is. But what we're doing right here is AWS Academy Cloud Foundations in English. So we're going to click on that. And it talks about, here's the modules, which was an introduction to AWS Academy Cloud Foundations. You can see that I did not complete these. The students need to. I did not. This is my actual module as a teacher, instructor, whatever you want to call it. And it should be very similar, if not exactly the same, as to what students see. So you'll see, like, where mine is white and some are completed and some are white saying in progress. The in progress ones are just ones that I just did not complete. And I think it looks like what I did was, if I did the knowledge check and I passed the knowledge check just fine, then I did not watch the modules. And again, I've been playing with AWS for a little over a year. I already have my certification and for this particular course that we're teaching right now. So just, for a matter of time, I just did not do the modules if I, pass the knowledge check without any problems. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and hit continue course. Okay, hold on. Okay, it took me a while to find it. I couldn't find it. That's what messed me up. So let's see if I can put all these down. I got all of these expanded and it's throwing me off a little bit. Okay, kind of clear up my view space here. So there's the introduction, and then there's the student guides, the lab exercises. So the lab exercises, let's go ahead and hit launch. I need to sign in. I want to pause this while I sign in. Okay, I'm signed in now. Just as an FYI, if you're going to be working on any homework, Monday looks like 6 to 8, not a good time. So you would go to, once you sign in, you would go to a drop down that would say your classes. Again, mine has more probably than yours. Okay, Cloud Foundations is the one I want. And the assignment from the first week, again, which was in mid-December, was to complete Introduction to EC2. So let's go ahead. Let me see if I can go ahead and restart this. I've already taken it once. Okay. So it comes up with the ACF, which is AWS Cloud Fundamentals. Yeah, Fundamentals, Lab 1, Introduction to Amazon EC2. So the lab provides you with a basic overview of launching, resizing, managing, and monitoring an EC2 instance. EC2 is a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud. It's designed to make web scale cloud computing easier for developers. EC2's simple web service interface allows you to obtain and configure capacity with minimal friction. Provides you with complete control of your computing resources and lets you run on Amazon's computing environment. Amazon EC2 reduces the time required to obtain and boot new server instances to minutes, allowing you to quickly scale capacity both up and down as your computing requirements change. EC2 changes the economics of computing by allowing you to only pay for the capacity that you actually use. EC2 provides developers the tools to build failure-resilient applications and isolate themselves from common failure scenarios. So the topics covered in this particular lab is launch a web server, monitor your EC2 instance, modify the security group that your web server is using to allow HTTP access, resize your EC2 instance to scale, explore EC2 limits, test termination protection, and terminate your EC2 instance. Now, this is a very important thing to remember to do. If you don't terminate it, if you don't turn it off, so to speak, it'll keep running. And if it keeps running, it'll generate a bill. And since you're doing this through the lab, I'm not sure if you provided a credit card information to have an AWS account that might tie into your credit card. I can't recall exactly how you access this, if it's just through like a student. But regardless, however it is, make sure you terminate it. I know it seems like, kind of like forgetting about it. Don't worry about it. Worry about it. Just terminate it. You don't need it. So the duration. So it takes about 45 minutes to complete. It didn't take me that long, but again, I've been playing with this a bit longer. So don't feel bad or worry if your time, is up to 45 minutes or if it's a little less. The more exposure you have to AWS, the more comfortable you'll get with it. Accessing the AWS Management Console. So we're going to hit Start Lab, and I believe it opens up in a new tab. It's thinking. There we go. Okay, so it shows I already did mine. Oh, no, not on this. Okay, somewhere else. I can see when y'all do yours. Okay, so that's not what this is. This is something else. I'm going to pause this because it takes a few minutes. Okay, so lab status is now ready. Let's see what the rest of the instructions were. Then click on X. I clicked outside of it, but click on X to start the lab, to close it. Okay, so at the top of these instructions, click AWS. So this is the AWS Management Console. This is like where there's this one way that you can access all the resources within AWS. It's probably the most user-friendly if you're not familiar with command line, or if you're just you're a kind of person that needs something like more of a graphical user interface, a GUI. So this is how I, like 99% of the time, access AWS resource, just because it's just easier, unless I don't have to remember so much stuff with the CLI. Okay, so this is AWS Management Console. Tip of a new browser. Okay, so I'm going to move my things around a little bit. I keep so many things open, then I wonder why it's so slow. Let me close this and pause this and close them. Okay, I think I'm situated now. I still got some stuff open, but intentionally. So task 1, we're going to launch our EC2 instance. So yeah, in this task, we're going to launch an EC2 instance with termination protection. Termination protection prevents you from accidentally terminating an EC2 instance. You can deploy your instance with a user data script that will allow you to deploy a simple web server. So in the AWS Management Console, in the services menu, click on EC2. So you can do this a few different ways. My usual go-to is, because when you click on all of these services, that's a lot. I mean, I see EC2 right up there. But when you're looking for something in particular, sometimes it's just frustrating trying to find it all. So if you know what you're looking for, my default is to type it in the search. EC2. It's the first one that comes up, and that's what we want. So let's see. So we're in the resources. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I don't think you guys need to see me. Okay, so we're going to click Launch Instance. Okay, right now I have a couple of things going on. I have a key pair and security group, so nothing I have going on should really interfere. Okay. Yeah, no, okay, this is what you want to see up here on the top of your AWS console on your, is Evoke Labs user, You don't want to see something with your name. That's just gone because it's not tied into the Vocarium lab, and it will most likely charge you. So, oh shoot. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, try this again. So we're going to click Launch Instance. So when you see, even though you see a blue button here, it's orange, AWS orange. So just be aware, sometimes don't look for exactly like this. You got to kind of just look. So we're going to click Launch Instance. And we're going to choose an AMI. It provides information required to launch an instance, which is a virtual server in the cloud. AMI includes a template for the root volume for the instance. It's like, for example, like the operating system or the application server. Launch permissions that control which AWS accounts can use the AMI, and a block device mapping that specifies the volumes to attach to the instance when it is launched. It says the quick start list contains the most commonly used AMIs. You can create your own AMI or select an AMI from Marketplace. Let's see. So we're going to click select to the Linux to AMI. So we're creating something using the Linux OS I don't know anything that much about Linux, but okay. So Linux to AMI. Looks like this one. And it does say it's free tier eligible. And it says Linux 2 comes with 5-year support, provides Linux kernel 4.14 tuned for optimal performance on EC2. So some of this gets like a little over my head here, so I can't really give you the details on this, but we're going to click this one. So step 2, choose an instance type, which is where we're at right now. EC2 provides a wide selection of instance types optimized to fit capacity use cases. Instance types comprise varying combinations of CPU, memory storage, and networking capacity, and give you the flexibility to choose the appropriate mix of resources for your apps. Each instance type includes one or more instance sizes, allowing you to scale your resources to the requirements of your target workload. So if you expect a large amount of traffic on your particular website, app, whatever it is that you're doing, you may want to scale up if it's going to be very intermittent, like maybe once a year or something like that, or just not even that much. Whatever, it's a very small amount. Then you could micro's good. So we're going to choose the T2 micro instance, which should be selected by default, which it is. Has one virtual CPU and 1 GIB of memory. Note you may be restricted from using other instances in this lab. So we're just going to do this one. And we're going to click Next, Configure Instance Details. It says this page is used to configure the instance to suit your requirements. This includes networking and monitoring settings. The network indicates which VPC you wish to launch the instance into. You can have multiple networks, such as different ones for development, testing, and production. For network, select Lab VPC. So let's go to network and select that one. The lab VPC was created using AWS Cloud Formation template using the setup process of your lab. This VPC includes 2 public subnets of 2 different availability zones. To enable termination protection, select the check protect against accidental termination. Let's see, right here. And then talks about when an EC2 instance is no longer required, it can be terminated, which means that the instance is stopped and its resources are released. A terminated instance cannot be started again. If you want to prevent the instance from being accidentally terminated, you can enable termination protection for the instance, which prevents it from being terminated. So we're going to go to advanced details. Field for user data will appear. Okay. When you launch an instance, you will pass user data to the instance that can be used to perform common automated configuration tasks and even run the scripts after the instance starts. Your instance is running in Linux, so you will provide a shell script that will run when the instance starts. So we're going to copy this. Okay, paste it in there. The script will install Apache Web Server, configure the web server to automatically start on a boot, activate the web server, and create a simple web page. So we're going to click Add Storage, and we're going to click Add Tags. Okay, hold on. So EC2 stores data on a network attached virtual disk called Elastic Block Store. You will launch an EC2 instance using the default 8 gigabytes. Never seen it like this. I'm assuming those are gigabytes. I have to look. Disk volume. This will be your root volume, also known as the boot volume. So we're going to click Add Tags. Step 5 is Add Tags. Tags enable you to categorize your AWS resources in different ways. So, for example, by purpose, owner, or environment. This is useful when you have many resources of the same type. You can quickly identify a specific resource based on the tags and you have assigned to it. Each tag consists of a key and a value, both of which you define. So we're going to click Add Tag. The key is going to be name and web server. Next, we're going to configure the security group. So a security group acts as a virtual firewall that controls the traffic for one or more instances. When you launch an instance, you associate one or more security groups with the instance. You add rules to each security group that allow traffic to or from the associated instances. You can modify the rules for security group at any time. The new rules are automatically applied to all instances that are associated by the security group. So security group name is Web Server Security Group. The description is security group for my web server. In this lab, you will not log into your instance using SSH. Remove SSH access. Removing SSH access will improve the security of the instance. So delete this. There it is. And review and launch. Review instance of the launch. The review displays the configuration for the instance you're about to launch. We're going to click on launch. So select an existing key pair or create new key pair will appear. So EC2 uses public key cryptography to encrypt and decrypt login information. To log in to your instance, you must create a key pair. Specify the name of the key pair when you launch the instance and provide the private key when you connect to the instance. So in this lab, you will not log into your instance, so you do not require a key pair. So we are going to choose an existing key pair and proceed without a key pair, yeah. And you acknowledge this, and we're going to hit launch. View instances. Okay, let's see. The instance will appear in a pending state, which this is. This which means it's being launched. It will then change to running, which indicates that the instance has started booting. There will be a short time before you can access the instance. The instance receives a public DNS name that you can use to contact the instance from the internet. Your web server should be selected. Okay, it's running now. Your web server should be selected, which it is. The description tab displays detailed information about your instance. So description tab, let's see if I can make this like that. Let's see. The description tab, what am I supposed to be telling you? Displays the detailed information about your instance. Okay. So it talks about the instance ID, the fact that's running, the type is a micro. Let's see. Your private IP, your availability zone. It has a variety of different information. This is the kind of information and everything that we've already gone over in the lab. It is brand new terminology. It is brand new processes. It is, so some of this stuff is going to be like, things that we're talking about, the acronyms that we're using, the words we're using. You're going to be like, well, I have no idea what you're talking about. And that is fine. It's the process. It's repetition. It's doing it over and over again, exposing yourself to these resources and the terminology and what it does repetitively, and playing with it and playing with it and playing with it some more. Doing the tutorials, reading the white papers, all of that stuff is how you learn this stuff. Okay. It's not realistic for you to do this one and then you have a good grasp of it. That's just not the name of the game. You have to spend the time to devote to study upon this. So, but anyways, I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Description. It gives you the information in regards to the web server that you're running right now. So it says it's running. 2 out of 2 checks have passed. Where does it say that? Let's see. Status checks. Oh, it says still initializing. So it's not done yet. So I want to go ahead and pause this while, okay, it's done now. 2 out of 2 checks. Good. So task 2, monitor your instance. So monitoring is an important part of maintaining the reliability, availability, and performance of your EC2 instances and your AWS solutions. So we're going to click status tabs. Okay, status checks tab right here. I already have it. Move this back a little bit. Okay, status checks. With instance status monitoring, you can quickly determine whether EC2 has detected any problems that might prevent your instances from running applications. EC2 performs automated checks on every running EC2 instance and to identify hardware and software issues. So notice that both system reachability and the instance status checks have passed. So that's good. Click the monitoring tab. And this tab displays CloudWatch metrics for your instance. Currently, there are not many metrics to display because instance was recently launched. You can click on a graph to see an expanded view. Let's see. There we go. There's not much. Okay, but it's there. In the actions menu, let's see where I'm at now. Oh, right here, actions. Select instance setting. Yeah, instance settings and get system log. Yeah. The system log displays the console output of the instance, which is a valuable tool for problem diagnosis. It's especially useful for troubleshooting kernel problems and service configuration issues that could cause an instance to terminate or become unreachable before SSH daemon. See, that's a terminology I'm not aware of. Can be started. If you do not see a system log, wait a few minutes. We see it. Scroll through the output and note that the HTTP package was installed from the user data that you added when you created the instance. So scroll through. I think this is it. No. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is the information that was installed from the user data that we added when we created the instance. So click close in the actions menu. Let's see, go ahead and close this. Actions, select instance settings, get instance screenshot. Okay, this shows you what your EC2 Instance Console would look like if a screen was attached to it. Okay. Let's see, if you're able to reach your instance through SSH RDP, you can capture a screenshot of your instance and view it as an image. Okay, close. Update your security group and access the web server. So when you launch an EC2 instance, you provided a script that installed a web server and created a simple web page. In this task, you will access the content from the web server. So click in the description tab, copy the IP for public IP. Open a new tab. And I'm assuming we're going to paste this. Yes. I'm going to pause this while it's thinking. Okay, so after it got done thinking, it told me you can't be reached. And explains why. It says you're not currently able to access your web server because the security group is not permitting inbound traffic on port 80, which is used for HTTP web requests. This is a demonstration of using a security group as a firewall to restrict the network traffic that is allowed in and out of an instance. So to correct this, we will now update the security group to permit web traffic on port 80. So, sorry, I was taking a drink of water. Okay, so keep the browser tab open, but return to EC2 Management Console, which is this. Let's see. And it says that right here. I'm trying to find something that, so you can, if you get lost on some of these different interfaces, it does say up here, EC2 Management Console. Okay. In the left navigation pane, click Security Groups. There it is. Now under Network and Security. Select the Web Server Security Group, which is this one right here. I think these are the other ones that I have already running when I started. Doesn't give dates. But anyways, so click on that. Click the Inbound tab. Click Edit. Configure. Type is HTTP. Source is anywhere. And then save. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh this page. Hello. Okay. So it works. Resize your instance, instance type, and EBS value. So as your needs change, you might find that your instance is overutilized, that it's too small, or it's underutilized and it's too large. If so, you can change the instance type. For example, a T2 micro instance is too small for its workload. You can change it to M5 medium instance. Similarly, you can change the size of a disk. So let's go ahead and go back in here. Before you resize an instance, you must stop it. So when you stop an instance, it is shut down. There's no charge for stopped EC2 instance, but the storage charge for EBS volumes remains. So on the EC2 Management Console in the left navigation pane, click Instances. There we go. And then let's see, web servers already selected, actions, instance state, stop. Yes, stop. Wait for it to be stopped. It's stopping right now. Go ahead and pause this while it's doing that. Okay, it took a few minutes, but it's stopped now. So change the instance type to go to actions, instance state or settings, and then change instance type. So right now we're in T2 micro, which is intended for very small workloads. And we are going to change that for a medium, or no, we're not. We're going to change it from micro to like really small to just a little small, I guess. And then apply. And when the instance is started again, it will be a T2 small, which has twice as much memory as the micro. So note, you may be restricted from using other instance types in this lab. Okay, so just choose what the instructions say. Let's see. So resize the EBS volume in the left navigation. Click Volumes. Actions menu. Select Modify Volume. And then I'm assuming this is gigabytes. I've never seen it like that, but whatever. The size is an GIB. Note that 1 GIB equals whatever that number is bytes, whereas, so it's not exactly the same. Whereas 1 gigabytes, I did not know that. So it looks like GIB is just a little bit more than a GB. Like this is 1024 and this is 1000. Okay. Anyways, resize it. Look, where am I at now? In the left, okay, volumes, actions, select modify. Okay, they were there. It's currently set at GIB, and we now increase the size of the disk. Change it to 10. Click modify. Yes. Close. So we're going to start the resize instance. In the left navigation pane, hit Instances, Actions, Instance State, Start. Yes, Start. Well, I want to pause this one. That's pending. Okay, so it's running now. And let's see. I lost my place. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we successfully resized the EC2 instance. In this task, we changed our instance type from micro to small. We modified our root disk volume from 8 gig GIB. I don't even know how GIB. I don't know how you're supposed to say that. To 10. So we're going to explore the EC2 limits. So Amazon EC2 provides different resources that you can use. These resources include images, instances, volumes, and snapshots. When you create an AWS account, there are default limits on those resources on a per region basis. So we're going to look at limits here. Note that there is a number of instances that you can launch in this region. When launching an instance, The request must not cause your usage to exceed the current instance limit in that region. You can request an increase from any of these limits. Okay. Where am I at? So it's gonna get rid of all of that. Don't think there was anything we were supposed to do there, so I'm not gonna focus that much on this. Expand it though. Okay. Don't really have any other else to advise on this short of what that lab says. Let's see. So now we're going to test the termination protection. So remember, this is the termination protection will be clicked on earlier when we created this instance is what's going to help us prevent from accidentally terminating this, this computing power of the instance of the EC2. So you can delete your instance when you no longer need it. This is referred to as terminating your instance. You cannot connect to or restart an instance after it's been terminated. So we're going to learn how to use termination protection. We're going to click on Instances, Actions, State, Terminate. And note that there's a message that says these instances have termination protection and will not be terminated. Use the Change Termination Protection option from the Instance and Screen Actions menu to allow terminations of these instances. I'm getting tired of saying instances. So there's a warning on EBS-backed instance. The default action is for the root EBS volume to be deleted when the instance is terminated. Storage on any local drives will be lost. So yeah, we can't terminate because we got the termination protection on. It's a safeguard to prevent the accidental termination of an instance. If you really want to terminate the instance, you will need to disable the termination protection. So we're going to click Cancel. Actions, Instance Settings, Change Termination Protection. Yes, disable. So we're now turning off. We're disabling the termination protection. Yes, disable. And now we're going to Instance State, Terminate. Yes, I'm assuming that's what we're doing next. Yes, terminate. Okay, so the lab is now complete. And so wait for this to shut down. So don't shut it down until you see that this is done shutting down. That's terminated. We'll go ahead and pause this while it's doing that. Okay, it's terminated. I'm gonna move this back over. Okay, so the lab is complete. So we can click. So I think it started, I don't know, 150. I forgot how much. 160. It was 2 hours, I think. I don't remember. Anyways, that's how long it took me to do it. I don't remember. I think it was like 150 something whenever I started up here. And now it's 120. So it took me about a half hour to do it. And that was me explaining it, how to do it. Then, so I'm going to create, this is how you complete the lab. If that's all you needed help on, and you're able to, study upon this, you have your own particular study styles that are effective for you, that work for you. I'm going to go ahead and click in lab. Yes. That's great. But I want to create another video after this. Okay, it says delete has initiated. You may close this message box. Okay. I'm going to create another video after this showing what works for me in regards to studying and study tips, I guess is what you want to call it. Because this is not a process where you can skim and understand and pass the exam. Okay. So that's all for this particular video. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. Let's see.